Hello my friends and welcome to a new video. Today a review about the Trak Racer TR120S. First off, thank you very much Trak Racer for providing me with a TR120S. It is always appreciated when a big company like yourself helps out the smaller reviewer to make some reviews about the current hardware out there. So thank you very much. So price and availability, well, they have their warehouses in Europe, in Australia, in the United States. In Europe, it comes at 599 euros. So the basic one, the configuration that I have, so with the standard wheel plate that is on it, it will come to 634 euro. Of course, you will also need to add a shipment cost with this. Now, the average price of 120 millimeters profile is around 700 euro. So the TR120S is the cheapest 120 millimeter pro extrusion profile rig that I could find on the market of mainstream manufacturers, of course. There are different configuration options for the pedal base of the TR120S. The first one, of course, is that you can incline it downwards and upwards for about 18 degrees. What is also nice is that you can reverse the pedal base. So I have it now in a very low setting, which is suitable for driving normal cars, but you can also switch the entire pedal plate around so that the pedal plate comes a bit higher by standard. This will mean that you can drive more easily in GT3 cars when this configuration is applied. Another thing that you can, of course, change is the distance from the seat. It can slide over the entire length of the vertical bars, and it is done on the fly because of the winged screws that hold the mechanism into place. When I look at the compatibility list for the pedals, I don't think that there is one pedal base that will not fit on this pedal plate. Because it is a full pedal plate, like I did here with the Simlab XP1 pedals, I just put them separate on the pedal plate without any issues. So that is still a very positive point for using the full pedal plate. When you buy a TR120S, you will also have the possibility to exchange the pedal plate that you want. So there are different options. You have this one, so just a full pedal plate, but there is also a profile based pedal plate with a heel rest on it. I think it comes to the same price, and then there is a last option which you could add, and that is to have more of inversed pedals or GT or Formula 1 pedals, so that it can be put a bit higher, the pedals, than standard. This one will cost a bit more when you want this as an option. The wheelbase holder comes in 4 different flavors. The one that is standard with the TR120S is the one to attach Fanatec wheelbases. However, there is also the standard wheel plate that I have here. There is a wheel plate for front mounting for direct drives like Simocube and Simagic, and there is also another one for Acetec material. The wheelbase holder tray can be tilted just a bit up and down, but because it is attached to the frame with these brackets and the extrusion slot that it has here, you can also tilt it a bit up and down the entire structure here. You can also, of course, move it up and down over the vertical beams, and the vertical beams can slide over the length of the horizontal beams closer to your pedals or closer to the seat. They are attached with 4 attachment points on each side, so you have 4 bolts here, but these cannot be done on the fly. So this is different than with the pedals, which is a bit of a shame. I would have really loved seeing this part also being on the fly. Compatibility for this plate, it is Logitech, Trustmaster, Fanatec, Moza, Camus, so everything fits on it. I did have some issues with the Camus C12. When I first mounted the entire thing, I could only attach it with 2 bolts. I needed to turn the plate, turn these plates here, and well, it caused for some damage on the vertical beams here already. So that's a bit of a shame that it was so difficult. It was the most annoying configuration that I have with the wheelbase plate and the Camo C12. So it's a very big boy, 145 centimeters in length, 66 centimeters in width, and the vertical beams measure 78 centimeters. It's also very heavy, 47 kilograms. Add a seat to it and you will get to around 80 kilograms for this rig. So if you need to move it, well, I would suggest putting some wheels under it. When driving, the pedal base doesn't seem to move at all. Trak Racer opted to use a pedal plate made out of 6mm thick steel. This translates in a very heavy and stable pedal base that can handle higher end pedals without much of an issue. There is some light flexing visible when really pushing them extremely hard, but this is only noticeable when watching the video footage, and it is more linked to the structure being on the rubber feet instead of the sturdiness of the pedal plate itself. I think this is the strongest pedal plate I have tested so far on an extrusion rig. The design of the wheelbase plate was something I was a bit skeptic about. It's not just one full extrusion beam, but rather two pieces of extrusion profile with a center wheelbase holder bolted into one. Trak Racer opted for this principle in order to make it more easy to change from attachment method, from for example bottom mounted to front mounted. It would let you reuse most of the structure that way. But my skepticism was unfounded. If you look at the position of the holder versus the vertical extrusion beams, there is little to no flex visible when driving it under a force of 12 Nm and upwards. The video footage shows that the frame does move somewhat, but again, as with the pedals, this doesn't come from the structure itself, but is caused by the rubber feet supporting the rig. There is a bit of roll on the rig and a bit of movement of the vertical bars, but this is not due to the structure, but because of the rubber feet that's under it. So they decompress a bit when you move. Well, you can tackle this by using some stabilizing feet. So I put some stabilizing feet under this, and you see there is a lot less roll because the rubber that is used on the stabilizing feet is just a very thin, thin layer, so it doesn't move that much with those feet under it. So it's something that I would really recommend when you buy this rig, or buy the stabilizing feet with it, or buy some wheels, because it's very heavy to roll around, so that could be a very good investment also. When the vertical beams are connected to the horizontal beams, it is attached with 4 attachment points. Now normally I say the more the better, and probably in this case, yeah, you can put some more extra attachment points, but it's not really necessary, and this is because it really has already a very big touching area between the vertical and the horizontal beams. So you have the 120mm profile, so you have like 12 centimeter like this and like this, so it is already a very big area where they touch, and they are very clamped together with the 4 attachment beams that there are already. So it's not really a problem for stability that there are only 4 attachment points on it. The extrusion profiles that are being used are also designed differently. The horizontal base profiles have a smaller core and different internal layout than the vertical ones. It's a good optimization of used materials, and I don't see any drawbacks from this new design. For build quality, there's not really much that I can say. There is one thing which I would change, that are the end caps for the 120 vertical profiles. It just doesn't stay correctly on it. There's always this little gap. Try bending it a bit and then putting it back on, but there's always this little gap. That's the only thing that I have to say. When I look at the profiles when they came in, so the anodizing of it, yeah, it's very, very nice. I think I had 1 or 2 imperfections on all the profiles, and there were just small imperfections. So really, really nice. When it comes to design, the only remark that I would want to give is the how they made the wheelbase holder, and if you need to adapt it. So yeah, if you have to adapt it, put it higher and lower, you will get scratches on your vertical beams, and that is a bit sad, especially for me. I have a lot of wheelbases that I test. I need to put them higher or lower, and every time I put it down, I hear the screeching sound of the profile. It drives me insane, and I see the scratches. It's horrible. So yeah, for design, I would perhaps go look into this. How can you improve this? But for the rest, I really like the design. You have the bigger seating area that goes with a bit curving towards a smaller area. So I really like the curves in it. It makes it, yeah, less of a brick. And also how they connect the profiles, so the vertical profiles with the back end with the nice beefy connecting part, also very nice. Yeah, I think design is really top for this rig also. A side note to the design, well, I am really glad that Trak Racer opted not to use angles on their vertical beams. It seems to be a trend with some of the other manufacturers out there, but to me, the aesthetics aspect and more optimal placing of the display doesn't hold up to the configuration difficulties, limitations for expandability, and the difficulties I experience when getting in and out. Also related to these profiles, the choice to remove a few slots from the side profiles make the design more sleek and is an extrusion less that you need to dust out, so certainly a practical and aesthetical improvement for me. When it comes to features, well, there are the red extrusion fillers, of course, which I adore, you guys know that. There are cable binders and clips with it. You have the printed Trak Racer on the front and on the back. You have the seat rails that come with the package also, and then the most important feature of them all is that color, that blue color that they put on it with the sparkles in it. It looks so very nice. Yeah, it is just fantastic. Now there is a sad thing about this color. I talked to Matt about it, and he told me that they don't sell that well in the blue color, and they are thinking about cutting it, which is a damn shame, because Trak Racer is about the only manufacturer that I know that sells these colored extrusion profiles. So it would be really a shame if it would disappear. I would love to ask for you guys to put in the comments what you think of this. Would you buy another color of extrusion profile rig? What color would you buy, for example? And I just very interested, because if it's up to me, I adore this. I like the fact that it is a different color than the boring black, but I just can't understand why it is not being sold more. So please help me out, help me understand this. Put a comment with your thoughts in it. Trak Racer has the largest ecosystem for extrusion profiles out there. This really is handy, as you can buy all that you want to add to your extrusion profile at once and lower the shipment costs. Some additions that I can certainly recommend are, like I said before, some wheels, or if you don't plan to move the rig, the stabilizing feet. Trak Racer also offers a variety of reclining and bucket seats, ranging from as low as €179 up to €600. So Trak Racer has adopted the naming convention for their rig. So this is a TR120S V2. So now what is the difference between the V2 and the V1? Well, there are a few things. They made the extrusion profiles a bit more stiffer, not stiffer, but they changed the configuration of it just a bit. They also made beefier triangular brackets. The front of the TR120S V2 is also a bit different, and the packaging that they use to send it is also a bit changed. They made it a bit more sturdy. The TR120S V2 is not just a bunch of 120mm profiles slapped together like there are 12 in a dozen. When you look at it, you can directly tell it is a Trak Racer rig by the branding, its curved shapes, the absolutely gorgeous color scheme and general finishing. I have to admit that from the moment I pulled the extrusion profiles out of the box, I was in love with the sparkling blue. Colors and design are, of course, a very subjective matter. But even if you take away that color and go for the black rig with red accent colors, the TR120S remains the cheapest mainstream 120mm sim rig out there, and should you buy it, it will in all probability be the last sim rig you will ever need. It is suitable for motion and can withstand the force of high-end wheelbases and pedals without breaking a sweat. The points of criticism I have would be that it has a large footprint with almost 20 cm more in length than my previous sim rig. This may not sound much, but it is something you need to think about. Further, despite the on-the-fly pedal configuration, I don't think this sim rig is suitable for facilitating different drivers. Adapting the configuration of the wheelbase requires tools and is not really healthy for the beautiful coloring of the aluminum extrusions. That being said, like the two smaller extrusion profile rigs I have reviewed from Trak Racer, I would rate it with a good bang for buck score and consider it a benchmark for the competition. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had something from this video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you want to see more videos, and I will see you all next video. Bye bye.